Hello everyone, my name is Ankur Mishra, Assistant Professor in Department of Civil Engineering of SKIT Jaipur. Today's topic is unsymmetrical bending. First, simple bending or symmetrical bending. As we know, when the object placed on a plane surface, or I would say in XY plane, the load act in the direction of its vertical axis, okay, or in symmetrical axis. So obviously the bending occurs in the plane of symmetry. In this case, when bending happens called simple bending or symmetrical bending. But there's a difference in unsymmetrical bending. When the plane of the loading is different the plane of symmetry. Listen, when plane of loading is differ from the plane of symmetry, that is the cause of unsymmetrical bending. Okay, for understand this, assume there's a plane and object placed on it. Okay, the green one is your object. Okay, the load act in the direction of gravity. Okay, so the axis of symmetry will be y dash and x dash of this object. Okay, but axis of loading will be different. This will be vv dash and uu dash. Okay, so when the load act in the other axes like vv and uu, so this is the cause of unsymmetrical bending, because this is not act in the axis of this object. Okay, so this phenomenon we can see in roof purlin. Okay, these are the rafters, these are the rafters of the rafter purlins are placed. Okay, so load act in the direction of gravity, but the axis of symmetry is different from the load applying load axis. So in purlin there is also unsymmetrical bending. So if the plane of bending does not lie in a plane that contain the principal centroidal axis of the cross section, the bending called unsymmetrical. Okay, and in case of unsymmetrical bending, the direction of neutral axis will not be the perpendicular to the plane of bending. Understand? The direction of neutral axis will not be perpendicular to the plane of bending. Okay. So suppose now we have to find out the values of centroidal principal axis of the section. So first assume there's an object, the purple line shows the object. O is the CG point with the all axis passing through this point. So VV and UU are our new axes, and YY and XX are the different one. So we need to find the values of I, VV and IUU, or I would say moment of inertia about VV axis and UU axis. Okay, the alpha is our inclination angle, I would say inclined angle, and del A is our elementary area. X and Y are the coordinate which refer to the YY and XX axis, and U and V are the coordinate which refer to the VV and UU axis. Okay, so we know the pair in centroidal axis of a section defined as a pair of rectangular axes through the CG of the plane area such that the product of inertia is zero. Okay, so if UU and VV are the principal centroidal axis and X and Y are the pair of centroidal axis, a angle between UU and XX will be theta. So product of inertia will be summation of U dot V dot del A. As I told you, del A is the elementary area. Okay, so we need to find the moment of inertia about I, VB axis and UU axis, about the VB axis and UU axis with reference to the X, X and YY axis. Okay, so according to definition, when the product of inertia is 0, so Ixx will be equal to summation y square dot LA, as obvious reasons. Iyy equal to summation x square dot LA, and Ixy equal to x dot y dot del A. Similarly, for the IUU and IVV and IVU. Sorry for this. Okay. So we need to find the relation between x, y and UV coordinates. Means we need to find the value of u and v with x and y. Okay. So if I suppose this is the A point, this is the B, this is the C. Similarly at O, suppose this is the point A, this is the B, and somewhere this is C. So we need to find this value. Okay, and this value and this value and this value. Okay, so if so AC if is equal to x and there's a alpha, so BC will be x sin alpha. Okay, so BC will be x sin alpha, and similarly by using these coordinates, this will be y cos alpha, this will be your x cos alpha and y sin alpha. So if we find the value of u, this will be, wait, this will be y sin alpha plus x cos alpha, and for the v, y cos alpha plus sorry minus x sin alpha. Okay, so now if we find the value of IUU and IVV, so put the value in IUU equal to summation of v square dot del A. So put the value of v in this and we get this equation. Same as for inertia about VB axis, summation u square dot del A, put the value of u, get this one, and same as for the IUV. So these are the three equations we use to determine the moment of inertia about the VB axis and UU axis in case of unsymmetrical bending. Okay, with the help of moment of inertia about Ix axis and YY axis. Okay, so but just we need to find the value of alpha. So how we going to find the value of alpha? We know that since UU and VB are the principal axes, so the inertia will be 0, the sum of inertia will be 0, so IUV equal to 0, so the value of IUV equal to Ix minus Iy upon 2 into sin 2 alpha plus Ixy cos 2 alpha. So this this gave us tan 2 alpha equal to minus 2 Ixy upon Ixx Iyy. So if we have the value of tan alpha, or I would say tan 2 alpha, so if we put the value in triangle, so perpendicular will be Ixy, this is angle 2 alpha, and base will be Ix minus Iyy upon 2. So we can easily find the value of cos 2 alpha and sin 2 alpha also. So this is the cos 2 alpha and sin 2 alpha. Okay, so we have three equations, and this the value of sin 2 alpha and cos 2 alpha. For the any question in which we need to find the values of uh, centroidal principal axis, we just find the value of moment of inertia. and put this in this equations and get the new principal centroidal axis. Okay. Now, bending stresses in the beam subjected to unsymmetrical bending. Okay. In unsymmetrical bending, the natural axis is not perpendicular to the plane of loading, as we all know. The bending stress at any point in the beam subjected to unsymmetrical bending can be determined following three things. First, resolution of bending moment into two components along the principal axis. Okay. Next one, resolution of bending moment into two components along any rectangular axis through the centroid. And third one is location of neutral axis. So first we find out the how we resolution how we resoluting the bending moment into two components along the principal axis. Okay. Okay. Suppose these are new axes VB and UU, and M is a plane of bending inclined at the angle theta. So M can be resolved into two components. Okay, M cos theta and sin theta. M cos theta along the VB axis. Okay, and M sin theta along the UU axis. Okay, so intensity of bending stress at any point. This is your point P, recorded to be U and V, will be the algebraic sum of the stress due to component of bending moment. Okay, so final stress will be Fp is equal to m cos theta upon I u, V is our coordinate, and m sin theta iv equal to u. This is the formula for the final bending stress. Okay, there's a few things in there. The angle theta is taken as positive in anti-clockwise direction. Okay, if theta is taken in anti-clockwise direction, so taken as a positive, and coordinate u is positive in quadrant first and second, and v will be positive in quadrant first and the fourth. Okay, the the angle in this the angle is taken is anti-clockwise. Okay, that's why the coordinates are uv is u and v both are positive in first quadrant. In second, only u is positive, v is negative. In third quadrant, u and v both are negative. In fourth quadrant, u is negative and v is positive. Okay, and the coordinate u and v will be positive in that quadrant where the plane of bending act, and of uv plane in which bending moment is applied. Okay, so this is first quadrant in which the bending plane is uh, acting. That plane, that will be your first quadrant. Okay, that okay. And now we have two components also, m cos theta and m sin theta. As we all know, cos theta is positive in first quadrant, okay, and the fourth quadrant. Okay, and the sin theta is positive in first quadrant and in the second quadrant. Okay, and we take positive as a compression and negative as a tension. So m cos theta will be positive uh, the m cos theta gives compression. M cos theta give compression in first quadrant and fourth quadrant, and other quadrant is it will give a tension, and sin theta will give a compression in first quadrant and second quadrant. Okay, so m cos theta will give us cos theta compression in first quadrant, in second quadrant there's a tension, third quadrant also tension, and in fourth quadrant compression. Same as sin theta give in first quadrant compression, second quadrant compression, third quadrant tension, and fourth quadrant also tension. Okay, that's the resolution of bending moment into two components along the principal axis. So we find the values of stresses. Suppose there's a section, uh, hold on. Suppose there's a section of beam, it's like this, having some coordinates of edges, and you need to find out the stresses at the edges. Suppose these edges are A, B, C, and D. So the coordinates and the size of this beam is, suppose, 50, and this will be 20 centimeters. Okay, so coordinates and plane of loading is like this, the same, and theta will be a 25 degree. So the coordinate of A, so A point is on first quadrant, B in second, and C in third, and 4 and D is fourth quadrant. So value of V and U is positive in this quadrant for the A, and m cos theta is also positive, and m sin theta also positive. So that's how we find the stresses in every corner at the values. Somewhere v or values are positive and somewhere these are negative. So this is an easy question, we can do it. Okay, next one is a resolution of bending moment into two components along any rectangular axis through the centroid. Okay, so there's a plane x and y plane. There's an object, L-shaped object, and plane of bending m at line inclined at the angle theta. Same, resolve the component m along the axis, along y axis, and the resolved component of m along the y axis, also called the moment about x axis, is designed as mxx is equal to m cos theta. Okay, so mxx is equal to m cos theta, and similarly the resolved component of m along the x axis, also called moment about y axis, is designed as the myy is equal to m sin theta. So mxx equal to m cos theta and myy equal to m sin theta. So bending stress Fb equal to a1x plus b1 by, suppose they are the a1 and b1 are the components we need to determine. So how we going to determine? So mxx will be integration of stress. There's an inertia, stress at particular point, area, and this values of y coordinates. So x will be fb dot del a dot y. So integration for the value of stress here, we can integrate this and got the integration of xy dot del a got ixx, and integration of iy square dot del a got ixx. So mxx will be equal to a1 into ixy plus b1 into ixx. Same as m pi by gives the value of a1 iyy plus b1 ixy. Okay, by solving one equation number 1 and 2, we can get the value of a1 and b1. So a1 will be equal to myy dot ixx minus mxx dot ixy upon ixx dot iyy minus ixy square. Similarly, V1. So the final stress in that case will be equal to this equation. Okay, so we need to only find the value of ixx and iyy and mxx and myy. So this way, this formula gives us the final stress into any rectangular axis through the centroid in the case of. Now we all need to find the location of neutral axis. So in that there's a plane BB and UU and NN is our neutral axes, and theta is the inclination of bending to the BB axis, and beta is the inclination neutral axis with the UU axis. Okay, in neutral axis, as we all know, neutral axis at any point bending stress is a 0. So we know the formula FB is equal to m cos theta upon IUU into V plus m sin theta upon IBV into Q is equal to 0. From this we can conclude this V equal to minus U upon into IUU upon IBV into tan theta. So we can say it minus V upon U equal to IUU upon IBV tan theta. That's our equation number 1. And from the geometry or from the figure you can say at first, if V and U is equal to 0, suppose there is a 0 point, zero, no coordinate, it means neutral axis passing through the centroidal axis at this point. This is the point where V and U equal to 0. Okay, it's the point where V and U equal to 0. So from the figure, tan beta equal to, if there's a line, it's U and it's V, so tan beta equal to minus V upon U. As we see in the last slides, the coordinate in the fourth quadrant, VU and U is negative and V is so positive. So tan beta will be equal to minus V upon U. Okay, this is perpendicular, this is a base. But we know the equation V minus V upon U equal to IUU IBV tan theta. So it means tan beta equal to IUU IBV tan theta. So if we have the value of beta, we can easily locate the location of neutral axes. Thank you so much.